in the news, now this has only been reported by Axios, and I haven't seen it anywhere else. So take it with a grain of salt. But I think it's probably legitimate. I doubt that Axios would publish this if they couldn't back it up. The Biden, I'll just read from their article here. The Biden administration last week put a hold on a shipment of U.S.-made ammunition to Israel. Two Israeli officials tell Axios. The incident raised serious concerns inside the Israeli government and sent officials scrambling to understand why the shipment was held, Israeli officials said. The White House has declined to comment. The assault on Rafa has begun, by the way. The Israeli warplanes just dropped pamphlets over Rafa, telling people, get the hell out, because we're going to bomb the crap out of this place, or words to that effect. Excuse me. Israeli Prime Minister, back to Axios, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu released several statements in recent days saying he intended to order an invasion of Rafa, regardless of whether Israel and Hamas reach a deal for the release of hostages being held in Gaza and a ceasefire. He's got to have a war, Netanyahu. Otherwise, elections come and he ends up in prison. If we do not defend ourselves, he gave a speech at Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Museum. I've been there twice, actually, in Jerusalem. There's another one in Washington, D.C., but the one in Jerusalem is just, in both times, I walked out of there just sobbing. Just the horrors that the Nazis inflicted on the Jewish people is just unfathomable. And so anyhow, Netanyahu gave a speech basically telling the United States, we don't care if you're going to cut us off. He said the lesson of the Holocaust is if we do not defend ourselves, nobody will defend us. And if we need to stand alone, we will stand alone. Blinken met with Netanyahu on Thursday, I believe it was, maybe Friday, and told Netanyahu during their meeting, quote, that a major military operation in Rafa, end quote, would lead to the U.S. publicly opposing it and would negatively impact U.S.-Israel relations. But it looks like Netanyahu, he's fighting for his own political survival. White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said at a Financial Times conference in Washington on Saturday that the Biden administration made clear to Israel that the way it will conduct an operation in Rafa will influence U.S. policy toward Israel going forward. So this could be a turning point in U.S.-Israeli relations, a major turning point.